Okay. What we doing? We celebrating tonight? What is it? Is it a celebration? Is it a celebration or what? What we doing? What we doing? What we doing? Okay. Well, we are live. It's Boxing Talk with Raphie. We're in the place. We're in the place. Last night got delayed. Was it last night? Seems like a week ago. And you had to say, nada. Too tired. Sweltering heat over here in the UK. It's crazy, yo. Crazy, yo. By the time I ate my dinner, I was just, no, can't do this. Can't do this. Temperatures high. Just fell asleep. Had to send some messages out, wake the town and tell the people. Wake the town and tell the people. Yo, we can't do this. It's getting hot in here. Yo, it's been hot for like 3 weeks. Got a heat wave for like 3 weeks. It's been crazy. But today I thought, no, come on, feed the people, even the shoplifters, the common thieves that come around here. The Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, Boxing Talk with Raphie, even feed them, even give them a morsel. You know what I'm saying? So I knew you had to try and make it happen tonight. Wednesday, the 13th of July, it's 9:58 now, UK time. And as I sit and ponder, we welcome in the Leon figures as I sip on a nice little concoction. It's the Southern Comfort.
We go for the big drinks tonight, Raphie.
It's the big drink with the big glass.
How's the mic check? Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound okay. You sound good. Mic check 1 2 1 2. You sound good and in effect. So as I welcome in Leon figures and I say hello to the Lisa Bales, I do so.
Hey, Lisa.
Yeah, I do so with a nice large glass containing which I'm not going to tell you what it contains, but it may contain a dash of Southern Comfort. It may, well, what's that? About 10%. It may contain another 30% of what do they call it? Pomegranate juice.
It's the heat, Raphie. I had a craving for a red stripe. There was a cold red stripe, and that went down very well in this heat.
Very well and very fast, I would imagine. I bet it didn't last long.
No, it was a couple of swigs.
It's something to do with the heat because Raphie normally goes, does this thing with a glass of water, but I don't know. I just felt the occasion. I just felt I haven't been on for a week or so, and I felt the occasion necessitated a concoction, a nice concoction. So we got 10%, allegedly 10% Southern Comfort. We got allegedly 30% pomegranate juice, and what's that? 10. That's 60%. The remaining 60% was an interesting choice. Because I was shopping the other day, and like you say, Leon figures, because it's so hot, you start looking at different beverages, different drinks, different concoctions, and I've been eyeing up a White's lemonade. The 2-liter bottle. I've been eyeing that up for a few weeks now. And I finally took the plunge, walked up to her and said, "Hey, you want to come with me?" She said, "Yeah." And I acquired a 2-liter bottle containing White's lemonade. And for those who don't know, White's lemonade over here in the UK, White's lemonade over here in the UK is something of a it's an old school drink.
Yes, it's an institution. Back in the day,
Yeah.
that was the chaser for all the alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
Oh, White's lemonade. Yeah, it was before this 7-Up business and
For the 7-Up. But you know something? I was very disappointed because it had
the same anymore.
To me, it had a chemical.
Yeah, they've taken the sugar out and replaced them with artificial sugars.
Yeah, and it tastes chemically. There's a chemical element taste to it. There's a chemical trace taste to it, and I was very disappointed. It doesn't taste pure as I remembered it. There's a chemical element, which is quite disappointing. So I shall not be buying White lemonade. They changed the taste. It don't taste like I remembered. It's not pure. It's impure now. But that's probably why I chucked it in with the Southern Comfort and the pomegranate juice just to hide that little chemical element, which I did not expect to find. Very disappointed. But the drink as a whole, how would I rate it? Damn, it's a very nice drink. The Southern Comfort, the pomegranate juice. Yeah. It's very nice, and it's not been as hot today as it has been, Leon. It's been a little bit cooler, a couple of degrees cooler. We're not sweating our asses off.
Yeah, it's a negligible difference to me. I'm enjoying the heat.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm keeping hydrated.
Yes.
But, everyone I encounter and trying to remind them that we don't get too much of it here. So we've got to enjoy it while it's here.
That's very true. We have to enjoy it while it's here.
Easier to miss the joy of it, complaining of the bad effects.
Well, don't get it twisted. I'm out every day. I make a point at some point every day.
Doesn't everyone just look so much better in the sun?
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness! I've seen some wonderful. What happened to my bell? That's better. I've seen some wonderful ladies out there in the thin, what do you call it? Thin dresses with the G-string. You just see the G-string. It's delightful. Shared on Twitter. That's much appreciated, Lisa. I forgot to do that myself. Much appreciated, Lisa Bales. Big Boys Boxing is up in the building. Some ladies, all the ladies in the house. They're really doing their part out there to make this heat wave entertaining. Yes. They're really doing their part.
What a sight to behold!
Oh, goodness me!
It's like fine art.
Been knocked down a couple times. Bad. Been chopping trees. I've done something new for this fight. I done wrestled with an alligator.
Okay, so that was sorry I interrupted you there, but that was the trailer for the show over there on Instagram, in case you're not down with the Instagram. The ladies have been doing their part. Those thin dresses with the G-strings, trying to attract the Raphie's eye, and making their adjustments as they wiggle along.
It's just more smiling faces as well, though. People are just more amiable,
True.
It's just nice. It's just nice. It's nice.
People are friendlier when the sun comes out, I find. I think
yes,
is generally the case. And the ladies absolutely playing their part in this whole thing. Just letting people know, if they're not in the UK, how it's going down. I like that picture. I think I might leave that up there just for a little second. Please subscribe and share, folks. Shared on Twitter, much appreciated. Cold, wet, and miserable here for the entire week. Oh my gosh, what's there going on? NHS at breaking point as ambulance service buckles under intense pressure of the heat wave. It's a breaking point. I think it's broken. I've been using them, trying to trying to get right, trying to find out what's going on with the Raphie. And I think they're broken. I think they're broken. They're just hanging on by a thread. But yeah,
the worst thing is, Raphie,
yeah,
you get you pay for a bit of insurance, and you get some private care, and it's the same doctors.
Oh Lord,
but there's just no queues.
Oh God,
and all the things you have to fight the doctors for, they just happily give it to you instantly. All the tests, everything. Right?
It's crazy.
So there is capacity to do it.
Yeah,
they're just not doing it.
Well, what I've done is I found out how to get in to see my doctor. Certainly, there's a certain time in the morning, 8 a.m. If you get in at that time, then you can have emergency. You can be seen on an emergency basis on that day. So I found out how to do it. But it took a while, and it took some rigmarole. And during that course of time, the Raphie really wasn't very well and had no clue what was going on. Had no clue whatsoever. And that's the time where you're doing the most running around. And so it's really not good at all. It's not good at all. So, but, I knew that if you run around enough and if you dig enough, you'll find out the keys. There's always keys. There's always keys to this thing. Aaron Daly up in the building.
You have to navigate the maze. So as you said,
have to navigate the maze.
Because the staff want to help.
Yeah.
There's just so much red tape. So once you navigate it, you get there.
Yes, I think I've navigated it largely. I'm seeing my doctor. I've had some blood tests done, urinalysis done. I'm due in to see my doctor tomorrow. That's Thursday. Fortunately for me, I know a little bit about the medical stuff. I know a little bit about urinalysis. I know a little bit about blood work. And I've been researching this health game for a long, long time. And I actually came up with certain diagnoses before the doctor did. I'm going to be having a list of things, and there's a list of things you're going to have to check off, cross off, and there's a list of next steps. There's a list of next steps. So it's two next steps. But it makes sense. He'll know they make sense. I know they make sense. We'll get those done. Itsy bitty teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini in the heat always makes the heat bearable. But I'll tell you what else makes the heat bearable: keeping hydrated, staying hydrated. Raphie's putting the cucumber in the water. You know what I'm saying? When I say the cucumber, I mean, the cucumber in the water to keep it so you're actually drinking your vegetables as well as the H2O. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win. Where are we? Can I pull that out? Nah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I just said it. Who else we got in here? Cal L. Lisa Bales. What's going on? UCG Flame. And yeah, of course.
I can't believe I missed the live with the Chisora bout. I can't believe I missed it. You was live. I was sitting here watching it.
Yeah, it was a last minute thing. So you possibly didn't get. You probably wouldn't have got the notification. It was literally last minute. The Chisora thing. Okay, let's bring down that lovely lady. And let's have a look at the thumbnail. It's funny. Sometimes I forget how to do the damn thing. So there we go. Boom. Let's have a look at how it looks. Okay, it looks decent. Yeah, the Chisora thing. Chisora versus Pulev. I thought Pulev would win. But then again, I thought Pulev was younger, which he's not. Pulev's like 41 or something. Chisora's the young boy there. Which I didn't realize that Chisora was younger than Pulev. I thought it's very rare that Chisora gets the rub of the green in the UK. Very rare, but this time I thought they'll probably rub him again. But this time he actually got the rub of the green, and yeah, they gave him the win. I said, according to my scorecard, he won. What was the scorecard? Yeah, 116 to 113. I had Chisora winning. I think most of the pundits did also. But, they always have a weirdo judge. Always have a weirdo Polish judge when Chisora is concerned, but not.
Well, I had Chisora losing by a round, but I always have him losing.
Yeah.
So I'm probably biased against Chisora.
Mm.
But it was one of the more enjoyable fights. I did enjoy watching him fight this time.
Yeah. I wanted it to hurry up and finish by about the 9th round. I said, oh no, he's gonna fall off. He's gonna fall off now, but he didn't fall off.
I think what happened was a combination of Pulev underestimating him. You could tell by like round 4, Pulev's face was like, okay, he's still coming.
You could tell by round 1.
Pulev thought, well, I think you expect that with Chisora recently. You expect him to give you hell for 2 rounds, and then he gasses, and then just gets slower and slower. And then the second half of the fight, he gives the minimal, but
yeah,
his head movement was nice. He was throwing those wild shots to the body. I can see why more people thought Chisora won it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he getting them more spectacular. Those overhand rights were just spectacular shots. I just thought Pulev was more clinical with the shots he was landing.
Mm-hmm.
And they just scoring rounds to him. But Chisora was putting in the work.
Yeah.
But he's I think he was a bit trolling as well with the pictures he kept releasing of him sparring. He looked like he'd aged overnight. He'd always looked just weary, shot worn, body broken. But he came with energy. I think he was planning on retiring.
Yeah.
The way he brought his family down.
Yeah.
Stuff. And I really think he just got a bit of an adrenaline rush and thought, let me just ask Eddie for more money for other fights. He said, he's got private schooling to pay for.
Dang.
I think he's thinking, I'll take another fight. But I think he brought his family there, and he thought he would lose, and then he would just retire, call it a day. Let's see how he feels once the dust is settled, and then the offers come in. Whether he's going to think whether it's actually worth going through training camp and going for all of that again.
Well, I thought Pulev would do it. But Chisora stuck in there. I thought when he'd fade out, he didn't fade out. Pulev. Technical, but it took Pulev 3-4 rounds to get started. I mean, Derek was changing levels upstairs, downstairs. Pulev didn't know which way to go.
Derek had great head movement in the first 4 rounds, so it was difficult for Pulev to be accurate with his jab.
Chisora was changing levels, and Pulev was confused. He was like, 1-2 upstairs. Oh, he's downstairs. Let me go downstairs. Oh, he's upstairs now. He keep on moving. Upstairs, downstairs. Took Pulev a few rounds to get to grips with that. So he lost out on those rounds. And then Pulev's 100 punches behind the neck, which went unpunished, that was crazy to me. And then, Pulev, when he started to get into the flow, nice 1-2, jab, arm punches, then whipping around some wicked rights, but then guess what? Chisora was whipping over some wicked left rights. You know what I'm saying? So Pulev got the wins in some rounds through the volume, but then Chisora, even in those rounds, like many of those rounds, Chisora would come with the definitive punch, the heavier punch, the more pronounced power. And then when I thought last 3 rounds, I thought he'd fade away. He didn't really fade away. They both faded, of course. We got one guy 38 in Chisora and the other guy 41 in Pulev. So neither are spring chickens, but
and I think that's what Chisora needs to do. He needs matches like this, where they're both aging. Because if he gets somebody a bit fresher, he get a Parker scenario where he's getting dropped, and and that's where you can still maintain the excitement.
Yeah.
Watching him, but Chisora's not willing to. He wants to fight dangerous fighters.
Yeah.
As dangerous as he can get.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of wish that Chisora would just hang him up, but I'm not his dad. He's gonna hang him up whenever
Raphie,
he.
we're going to be hearing him speak in 10 years with slurred speech. It's not going to be good.
That's on him. That's on him. I mean, the common sense thing to do is for him to hang him up.
I hope not, but he might be an anomaly and it doesn't happen. But he's just textbook punch drunk waiting to happen.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's how it looked like. That's how it looked like to me. That's how it looked like to me. But the one thing that Chisora's done, and it's got him praise from around the world, is that he just goes out there, pulls his bootstraps up, ties his bootstraps, make sure he's got his gum shielding, make sure his gloves are attached properly and tied on, make sure his shorts are suitably buckled up, and he goes and he gets in there and he just does the work. He just does the work. He's a throwback. Just gets in there with all of the top guys. He's probably one of the most experienced fighters, heavyweight fighters there is out there today.
The only thing I think he's missing from the throwback days was with the throwbacks, they all fought each other, but if they fought 10 good opposition, they'd win 4-6.
Yeah.
Whereas Chisora, he more likely wins about 2.
Yeah.
His actual record against them isn't very good.
But what Chisora has done is he's picked up his work rate in the gym, says David Hay, and that's made a hell of a difference because now he can go in there with a Pulev and win.
Well, I was surprised that he was training again with Dom Charles, because I remember watching an interview with Dom Charles and he's saying that Chisora kept leaving him to go and find another trainer.
Mm-hmm.
He said at some stage you got to tell him you can't keep coming back. He said otherwise it's like, when you're in a relationship with someone, they keep leaving. At some point until you can't keep coming back. And I was very surprised to see him in the corner again. But then he was saying Chisora was like his boxing son. He was the first person he trained and he gave him all the opportunities. So I guess that meant the door was open for him. But
well, I mean, listen, it's money, It's not like a gal. It's money. Money talks. So they have a long history together. So if Chisora says, "Hey, can I come back, please? Oh, and by the way, you're gonna get such and such," Don Charles gonna have to think about that. I mean, money talks. As for the question, was Chisora on the juice? Well, he got tested, same as Pulev. They both got tested. I don't think he looked thicker. I think he's more dedicated to the craft. I think he's more dedicated to his craft.
I think he takes more time off in rounds now. Well, visibly, blatantly walks off and goes to the ropes for a rest.
Oh yeah,
I think that's probably why he's able to appear to last deeper into the rounds.
Paces himself better.
He's a bit more economical.
But in comes the man like. In fact, I'll let him introduce himself.
Fight doctor.
Fight doctor. Fight doctor's in the house on Rick James status as always. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening.
Fight doctor. It's been a while. Where you been, fight doctor?
I've been just trying to make it do what it do and keep my head above water. The flood waters were rising for a minute, but we fought them back. So
I hear you. Well, good to have you up in here today. Talk to me, fight doctor.
So Chisora Pulev is, in my mind, the heavyweight division in the microcosm.
Mm-hmm.
So what I saw was 2 guys fighting over who's going to be the elected gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, neither one of them are suitable.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the same thing that I saw, but it looked to me like 2 has-beens who did not deserve top billing.
Well,
I mean, really, the fight was a joke.
Well, I mean,
I've been saying that
we're
Chisora fights for a while.
we're hearing from around the world. We're hearing praise. We're hearing praise from around the world. Chisora is a throwback fighter. Stick him in there with anybody. Stick him in there, wind him up. You remember them toys back in the day? You wind them up and then just let them go. Well, that's Chisora.
Well, listen, I'm not questioning the man's heart.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning the man's resume. I'm not questioning Derek Chisora, his courage. None of that is in question.
Right.
The man is if you want to call the man a throwback fighter, I'm here to agree.
Right.
I'm just talking about the spectacle, which is what it was.
Yeah.
I'm just here to talk about the spectacle that we saw the other day between two so-called heavyweights. Right? Now, if this is the best that the second tier of the heavyweight division has to offer, then I assert, as I have for some years now, that the heavyweight division is the dustbin, the trash bin of boxing.
Uh-oh.
The trash bin.
I mean, let's be real. All right. I tell you what, if we were to come up with a list right now of the top 5 guys in the heavyweight division, there's a knock on each of them.
Yeah.
There's something that could legitimately there's a legitimate criticism about all of them. The top 5.
But check this out though. Hold on, let me check my screen. Okay, check this out though. Let me read you Derek Chisora's last opponents. Kubrat Pulev, Joseph Parker, 2-time, Alexander Usyk. Let's go through the list. Kubrat Pulev, I think he beat him. Joseph Parker the second time, I think Joseph Parker won that fight. Joseph Parker the first time, I think Derek Chisora won the first fight. Alexander Usyk, Chisora gave Alexander Usyk a hell of a time. David Price, Derek Chisora knocked him out in spectacular fashion. Arthur Spilker, Chisora knocked him out in spectacular fashion. Dillian White the second time, Dillian White knocked him out in the 11th round, but that was a very competitive fight. Carlos Takam, he knocked out Carlos Takam in the 8th round. We're looking at Ajit Kabayal. He lost to Ajit Kabayal, fair enough, a majority decision. Robert Filopic. Who the hell's Robert Filopic? Anyway, he won that round, that fight in 5 rounds. Dillian White, the first time, that was a split decision, highly contested fight, and so on and so on and so on and so on. He's one of the most Tyson Fury back in the day. 2-time, Kevin Johnson, Malik Scott, who he beat. So this is a throwback fight. It's clearly a throwback fight. How many fights he had? 33. And
Raphie, they had some skill to go with it. They had some skill. I just don't see the skill. I get the bluster, I get the heart.
Yeah.
I get the entertaining to watch. I don't know. I just don't get it with Chisora. Because actually, when we signed off on your last show, I said Chisora to win on points. I was actually trolling. I did not think that would happen. I was being very sarcastic.
No, I thought Chisora would lose, but I thought he would have many good rounds. But so by the time he got to the 9th, I thought, he's where he fades, but he hung in there. And yeah, you got to give the man credit. He goes upstairs, downstairs. It's tricky. It's tricky for guys. It's tricky. But the fight doctor, the talk around the campfire is that Chisora wants the bronze bomber who's probably somewhere right now in the Peruvian deserts, jungles, imbibing himself of some special concoctions that's going to help him make a decision. I don't know if he's come out and said he's made his decision yet, but there's a man from Africa, Zimbabwe, living in the UK. His mom is an accountant. She takes care of his money, tells him how to invest his money, and he goes by the name of Derek Chisora. What do you think? How do you think your fellow American Deontay Wilder will feel about this? I hear a lot of people knee-jerk reaction saying, "No, Wilder won't be interested in this." But look at the amount of attention that Derek Chisora has received due to this fight. I think that would be. I think if Deontay Wilder is to come back, this would be a damn good fight for him in his mind. In his mind.
A tune-up fight for Wilder.
Well,
yeah, can I chime in on this potential fight, please?
Yeah.
If Deontay Wilder can manage to find 75% of himself, he stops what I saw of whatever is left of Derek Chisora in 6 rounds.
It's a tune-up.
I mean, both him and Pulev were flat-footed, throwing one punch at a time. I mean, I thought I saw something that resembled a jab, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Slow as molasses.
Uh-oh.
Okay, both of them. You know, I thought that they were. Look, from what I saw, it looked to me as if prior to the fight, they both had won first place in pie eating contests.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I mean, seriously, dude, it's a tune-up fight, and that's all it is. And listen, in terms of, you know, if there's any journeyman in boxing who would deserve the Wilder fight,
Yeah.
you know, then it would be Derek Chisora,
Yeah.
right? But
you fear for his health?
Yeah, I think I would fear for his health because, you know, the mobility is not there, and guys who stand in front of Deontay Wilder tend to get knocked out. And you know, if Wilder can manage to find 75% of what he was in his last fight, he stops Derek Chisora, in my mind, in 6 rounds.
But my question is, would you like to see that fight? Do you think Deontay Wilder would be tempted by that fight? Do you think this could be the fight that teases Deontay Wilder out? Because we're not sure he's unretired yet. Do you think this is a good fight for Deontay Wilder to come back? Because he's been out of the ring for how long now? A year?
It's been about a year. And yes, because this fight should actually happen in the UK.
Yes.
It's a good payday. You're going to win. I don't think that Chisora is a threat to stop Wilder, and I don't think he's a threat to beat him on points. So, yeah.
BBC won't allow Wilder to come to the UK and fight on DAZN, though, will they?
Well, I mean, in terms of the politics, I don't know. But if that could happen, I would like to see that. I would like to see Wilder fight Chisora on UK soil. I think it's a big fight. I think it's a good moneymaker. You know, right now Chisora is riding a wave, and if at all possible that Deontay Wilder could capitalize on this wave that Chisora is riding right now, I think it would be good for him.
What about this one fight, Doctor? Would you prefer Chisora or Dillian Whyte? So you'd have Wilder and Dillian Whyte both coming off a loss to Fury.
Well, okay, so I have mixed feelings. And here's what my preference would be. My actual preference would be Dillian Whyte, only because I would want to see Deontay Wilder shut Dillian White's mouth, and in all of the talk about Dillian White would beat Deontay Wilder and all that nonsense that UK fans have been making for years. Okay,
it's pointless now. It's pointless. That fight's pointless now. Because
well, I mean, I don't know.
We've seen both of it. We've seen Dillian White versus Fury, and we've seen Deontay Wilder versus Fury. And regardless of what you say about Deontay Wilder, at least he made the first fight was competitive. It was a draw, and the second fight, let me remember, that was partially competitive. The third fight more competitive than the second, but at least he was punching. At least he was dropping. At least he was dropping Tyson Fury. At least he was punching him up and dropping him. But Dillian White never showed any inkling of dropping Fury. It was not what I expected.
Yeah, well, I don't think that second fight was competitive at all. I think maybe you can make an argument that the first round was competitive.
Forget about me saying it was the second fight was competitive. It wasn't.
Now the third fight was competitive only in the sense that Wilder was able to find his right hand and put Fury down twice. But I mean, outside of that, I don't think, it was competitive in the rounds that Wilder won. But outside of that, it really wasn't all that competitive. It was just more of the same from the second fight. Fury essentially having his way. But but that was then. That's in the past, and I don't think we're going to see Fury again, no time soon. Which again underscores the fact that the heavyweight division is a joke. When you have the international criminal heavyweight champion who can't fight anywhere, the second best heavyweight, who's probably about to be the best heavyweight in the world, is a cruiserweight with no punch. The second best heavyweight is a guy who can't seem to beat a cruiserweight, or guys who parade around looking like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Hey, the heavyweight division is just a joke. It's a joke. It's crazy.
Well, you got guys prancing around out of the ring for 2 years, coming back and to be proclaimed. You're hearing them with one belt because people are saying they're undisputed. You got a Deontay Wilder who avoided Anthony Joshua for years, but in a sense you can say, well, he did a smart thing. He avoided Joshua, went around Joshua, and then made tens of millions with Tyson Fury. They both made tens of millions with each other. They both made more money with each other than they had ever made. So was it fair that they pranced around like that and went around the undisputed? No, it wasn't fair. But life oftentimes is not fair. It's a fair.
Yeah, I don't think it was fair at all that the Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua avoided what was sure to be a brutal knockout loss at the hands of Deontay Wilder. It was smart, but it may have looked smart.
It was Wilder. It was Wilder was running, and Tyson Fury that was running, and making up all kind of cockamamie, lame excuses why they couldn't fight Joshua.
So let me ask the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent a question.
There ain't no cheerleading. We're just talking simple facts. Well, carry on, please.
All right. I just want to ask a question. All right. What looks better? All right. What looks better? Does it look better that you get knocked out by Deontay Wilder, who is arguably the hardest puncher in the division, in the history of the division, or does it look better on your resume that you get knocked out by the heavyweight division's version of the Pillsbury Doughboy? Which looks better, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, they never fought, so we don't know what would have gone down. You know what I'm saying? They didn't fight.
Fury would have been nice to have seen. It would have been undisputed. It would have been
nice. We wanted undisputed. Fury and Wilder denied it. They denied it. They said, no, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. And so we never got to see undisputed. So that's a big shame. That's a big pity. But that's how it is. They went around undisputed, and they got very rich. So what can you say?
That's your question. Do you think Wilder made a mistake then? Because he lost to Fury, he got 1 draw and 2 losses. But then you say he would have clearly beaten Anthony Joshua. So he must, in your eyes, then have made a mistake because he's exchanged undisputed for a draw and 2 losses on one severe beating at that.
Yeah, one bad beating, very, very bad beating. I don't know what's happened to fight doctor.
Was that a question for me? Well, listen. In retrospect, it would have been smarter for Wilder to fight Joshua because he would have beaten Joshua easily, in my mind. So yeah, would it have made more sense for Team Wilder to fight Joshua as opposed to Fury? Yes, because he would have knocked Joshua out as opposed to getting knocked out twice. So yeah, that was a mistake. That was a miscalculation on the part of Team Deontay Wilder, if in fact Team Joshua were coming to the table in good faith, which I don't believe that they were.
Well, they didn't accept the offer, so I guess we'll never know. All we do know is that the offer was put in, or multiple offers were put in, and Team Wilder, along with what's his name? What's that guy's name with the glasses? DeBella brought him to the zone table, made him the biggest offer they've ever had. Even now, it's still the biggest offer, and they walked away. And that's a shame. But hey, let us move along. Tony Reviews up in the building. Let me just ask her a few questions that are in the chat. How about Chisora versus Lucas Brown? Lucas Brown, well, I don't think he could do it, but I think it's pointless. I think if Chisora is going to stay in the game, it's got to be the biggest names. To me, it's got to be the biggest names. What's going on here? Elenius is dangerous. He took care of Kawanaki two-time. Chisora beat Elenius last time. He deserves a rematch. Wilder would smoke Elenius. Hey, I think the bigger names. What's the point in sticking around for the also rans? I think you get the big names and get the hell out of Dodge.
I personally think that Chisora calling out Wilder was just for the sake of it. He knows that fight can't happen. He knows he will get a discussion. So I think they call it clout.
It can happen, though, can't it? It can happen. Is it likely to happen? Listen, Wilder's just come out of retirement. Well, Wilder's whatever he's doing. He's making records now. It could happen. Is it likely to happen? We don't know. You could say it's unlikely to happen, but listen, what I'm saying is that Chisora is getting a lot of credit now. He's getting pats on the back for being a throwback fighter. And I think that just might be enough to tempt Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder and his team have got to feel that, we beat Chisora handily. I think that this, however many people may say it's unlikely, I think it is more possible than many may feel and believe, simply because Team Wilder are going to look at this guy and say, we're gonna whoop this guy's ass. But Chisora is trickier than people understand. Ask Parker. Ask White. Ask Pulev. All these guys have been surprised. By Chisora and his movement. He's more elusive than he is often given credit for. And he goes upstairs, downstairs. I think Team Wilder, mark my words, are going to consider this. And they may say yes. In fact, I'll put money down. Anybody want to challenge me? I'll put a 10 pound. I'll put 10 pound down. Where are we? July? Yeah. By December of 2022, Deontay Wilder will have accepted this fight. Anybody?
I'll take that bet.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well, you're saying Deontay Wilder won't say yes.
what I'm saying is, I think that, look, we know how Uncle Al operates.
Yeah.
And when you are on Uncle Al's protection list, or when you are on in his protection program, then you don't fight fighters who are not associated with Uncle Al.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
So Deontay Wilder's fights, and especially given that Deontay Wilder's coming off that loss, I don't think that Deontay Wilder will fight someone who is not somehow aligned with PBC.
Well, Chisora's a free agent. He's not contracted to the zone. He can go to PBC if need be.
Okay, so it's a £5 bet. I've just revised it. I've just looked through the history books. We always have £5 bets, so we'll do a £5 bet with that one, with the Fight Doctor. But yeah, Fight Doctor, you must realize that as Leon Figures just said, Chisora often fights with the zone, but he's actually a free agent and he can go where he wants to go.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, that might be the case, but I mean, as of right now, Chisora is not aligned with the PBC, and I just think that that Wilder will fight someone who is already aligned with Uncle Al.
He's got to look after his in-house fighters, hasn't he? He's got to give another PBC fighter a chance to fight Wilder, because he's got to get his fighters on cards.
Exactly.
Well, the bet's there. I've put the bet out there. The bet is that by December 2022, Deontay Wilder will have accepted a fight with Chisora. Is it likely? No. So obviously, it's an outside bet, but that's the bet that I'm going with. And did I say it's going to be on the zone? No. Doesn't have to be on the zone. It would be helpful. It would be better if he was here in the UK. But anyway, it's just a little throwaway bet that I'm doing. It's a throwaway bet. I'll take that bet also. Wilder is a PBC island. You ain't taking no damn bet. Everybody wants to come and try and rob the Raphie. What the hell are you trying to do? It's an outside bet. It's an outside bet. But okay. I think we've talked about that for long enough. I think we've done 2 subjects. What the hell's going on? Where did Lawrence Okolie say that Eddie Hearn was a slave driver? I'm trying to look for it. Lawrence Okolie, slave driver.
He implied it. I think he put up the image of Leonardo DiCaprio in Django Unchained.
Oh.
And then put another picture up saying Eddie Hearn is ...
Oh.
So it was implied.
Oh, okay. I found the article here. I hadn't seen this before. Where are we? Let me share this. Shizzle with you. Let's drop that down. Where is that article? Let's drop that down. Let's pull this up. World champion Martin Bacall. Oh, there it is. I hadn't seen it. Found it now. Okay. So, what does it say? Lawrence Okolie brutally compares promoter Eddie Hearn to a plantation owner. OMG. What is this here? Let's get rid of that advert. We don't need that around here. Earlier today, WBO cruiserweight champion Lawrence Okolie posted 3 tweets in quick succession, now all deleted. But we have the photo evidence, brutally comparing his promoter Eddie Hearn to a plantation owner. Tweet 1 by Lawrence Okolie. What the hell's going on? Tweet 1 by Lawrence Okolie was captioned, "Great movie. Loads of lessons in this one," with an image of the Django Unchained. The picture was of plantation owner who earns his money by forcing male slaves to participate in brutal wrestling matches. Okay. The second tweet by Lawrence Okolie saw him at his promoter Eddie Hearn tweeting. To be honest, Eddie Hearn is a and was not followed up by anything else but the prior tweet just a minute before. Makes it pretty obvious he was comparing Eddie Hearn to a slave master, forcing his fighters to fight for his own profit. What's this one here? Lawrence Okolie then made a third tweet. The problem is too often we let these in power dictate the narrative. Another dig at Eddie, implying that Hearn thinks he's in power. And what's that? And there's background noise. Everybody mute your mics, please. And media allow him to control the perception the public has. What is this shit? Lawrence Okolie has one fight left with Eddie Hearn, Eddie Hearn's Matchroom, and wants to leave both his management company 258 and Hearn to go to Boxer, Sky Sports. One potential reason for this outburst is to try and speed up that process. Either way, these tweets from Okolie are way over the line and heavily controversial for him to allude to something like that. Hearn signed Okolie straight out of the Olympic team in 2016. And took him to British Commonwealth world titles in under 16 fight. Okolie is not a particularly exciting fighter. Some of his fights were massively underwhelming. So what's going on here? Matchroom gave Okolie the opportunity to headline on Sky Sports and The Zone. They also paid for Okolie to have his world title shot in the UK. In February, they delivered a top 10 cruiserweight on a Sunday event that did not perform well, and were actively trying to make big fights for Okolie for the second half of the year, even though they knew Okolie only had one fight left on his contract. Okay, come on in.
Can I chime in?
Yes, of course.
I'd like to say that whoever wrote this article is, in my mind, living proof that members of the boxing media can indeed have room temperature IQ. Mm-hmm. Without question, because this person is an idiot of the first order. Mm-hmm. Listen, how is Lawrence Okolie out of line? Right? And in last I checked, his fights are exciting. Last fight I saw, the last Okolie fight I saw, I thoroughly enjoyed. Mm-hmm. So this person, clearly room temperature IQ ilk, all right, doesn't know what the hell that they are talking about. Probably is in Eddie Hearn's pocket, I would bet. Mm. But listen, maybe this person who wrote this stupid article should go ask Terrence Crawford what he thinks. Mm. Because I would bet my bottom dollar that Lawrence Okolie and Terrence Crawford probably have a lot in common in terms of how they think about their respective promoters. Mm. And by no means is this sentiment unique to Lawrence Okolie and Terrence Crawford. Other people have made similar comments in the past. Mm. You know, so this person who wrote this article clearly doesn't know shit about boxing.
From an adverse perspective, though, Fight Doctor, Deontay Wilder's not the only one that's released the track. Lawrence Okolie released the track, and he was praising how much Eddie Hearn pays him. Hmm. So on the one hand, while the opportunities were there and the money was coming in, he's happy to make songs and a literal song and dance about how well he's being paid. And because he's not able to be released early from his contract to chase more money, when you think, okay, promoters make money off of fighters, but he should be willing to honor his last fight. Mm. And even if Eddie Hearn says no, he shouldn't start I think it's wrong for him to start comparing him to being on a plantation.
Yeah, it was on poor taste. It was in poor taste.
Yeah, I just think because there's a big difference between Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn isn't known for tying fighters down, and the only time he would is if he's lost money on them, where he's invested in them with hope of recouping it later on down the line as they grow and get bigger.
Mm.
And it just sounds to me that Okolie's trying to jump ship, which is his right to do if he wants to leave after his contract or try and negotiate his way out of it. I just think it's in poor taste because I don't know the ins and outs, but I just don't get the impression that Eddie Hearn operates like that.
No, I think it was in poor taste. Remember, there was something back when Eddie Hearn, what's his father's name? Barry Hearn. When Barry Hearn made a comment, hey, back in the day, we were like slave traders. But you know, I think that applies more over in America than it does in the UK. I think, you know, I think over in the UK there's a lot more transparency, and I think Okolie was playing on that. It was an unfortunate play on words. It was an unfortunate play on words. Well, hey, you got the fit. Yeah, give the watch back then. Give the Rolex back. Yeah, if you don't like him, give the Rolex back. It was a play on words. It was in rather poor taste. What the hell am I seeing? I've got a screen full of screens. Let me get rid of that. Too many screens on my screen. What's going on here? Let's drop that down. Do you think cheerleading? Okay, you know what, folks? I don't know. Are we gonna do one more topic? I don't know. Let's have a look at the. Maybe. I don't know. You know what? I'm tired. I'm tired, man. What has Fury been saying about? Oh, I can't even bother with that. Hey, guys, gals, ladies, gentlemen, everybody, Leon Figures, Fight Doctor. As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, let's just do the final words. The Fight Doctor, good to have you back with us.
Glad to be back, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. Your final words tonight.
So yeah, when it comes to promoters, when fighters and promoters get into their, you know, disputes or whatever, I typically take the side of the fighter because I think promoters are maybe a step above leeches. Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. But they're definitely related. Because the promoter is a type of blood sucker. Okay? A type of leech.
Nice.
You know, sucks just enough blood where you don't die. But you know, it gets nice and fat, the leech.
Yeah.
And you know, it sucks just enough blood where it doesn't kill you, but where you can continue to maintain the leech, where it can get fatter and fatter until it can suck no more blood from you, and then it detaches and lets you go wither off and die. And the leech moves on to the next source of blood and proceeds to suck it dry. And the process goes on. And in the leech's wake, what do you have? A bunch of wilted fighters. And, you know, that's what a promoter is. It's a leech, blood sucker. All right?
Damn.
And you know, listen.
Yeah.
Eddie Hearn is a snake oil salesman. We all recall the lapse in time between the rubber match between Fury and Wilder, and Eddie Hearn selling us his snake oil about the. He promised that we were going to get Fury Joshua. That is a snake oil we were selling. Now, I was telling you that fight wasn't going to happen.
Whose fault was that? Whose fault was that? The Fury went off and got a contract with ESPN and all that shizzle. How's that Eddie's fault? Fury walked away from that after that first fight. Walked away, went over with Bob Arum, got a contract over there. They inflated the price in the press. How the hell is that Eddie Hearn's fault?
I'm not putting blame on Eddie Hearn for the fight not happening. I'm blaming Eddie Hearn for selling snake oil, knowing that he was selling snake oil. Okay? But he's a promoter. That's his job, to sell snake oil. So then when you have someone like Lawrence Okolie simply point out the fact that this guy's a snake oil salesman, now all of a sudden the whole world wants to turn on Lawrence Okolie for telling us something that we should have already known. The man is a snake oil salesman. That's what he is. He's a leech.
He's a leech.
And
He's a leech. Making millionaires. One of the fairest promoters out there. Which promoter is fairer than Eddie Hearn? Tell me.
I have a better question. Which promoter is fair?
Well, which promoter is fairer than Eddie Hearn?
No. Which promoter is fair?
No,
I think that's the better question.
First. So, which promoter? You're saying that Eddie Hearn is a leech and this, that, and the other. My response is, which promoter is fairer than Eddie Hearn?
As far as I'm concerned, they're all lying cheats, all of them, without exception. So, if your argument is that Eddie Hearn is the least dishonest lying cheat, well, he's still a lying cheat. Okay, so it doesn't really make a difference if Eddie Hearn is the fairest promoter, because he's the fairest lying cheater, but he's still a lying cheater.
Well,
okay? At the end of the day.
Well, if I were a boxer and you presented me with Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, Al Heyman, the one I'd be more inclined, I mean, obviously it depends on the situation, but the one I'd be more inclined to go with would be Eddie Hearn. Obviously, once again, depending on location, depending on weight division. But I think that the other cats, Al Heyman, he'll keep you fed. He'll keep you fed on a diet of, also runs once a year, maybe once every 18 months. Bob Arum, he'll promote you depending on certain factors. He's the biggest snake of them all, in my book. And Eddie Hearn, I think, is the most transparent. Does it mean he's totally transparent? No. But I think he's the most transparent of them all. And once again, your situation, your ranking, your weight division, your location, it all plays a part. But I think the most transparent of them all for me is Eddie Hearn. But I hear what you say, the Fight Doctor. It's good of you to join us. Much appreciation goes out to the Fight Doctor. Until the next time. And Leon figures the Raphie's getting tired. So if you want to go on ahead, thanks for jumping on. If you want to go on ahead and give your final words, my friend.
Final words. I don't think anyone would have had a problem with Okolie calling Eddie Hearn a snake oil salesman. It was the fact that he referred to him as a plantation owner. I think that's what's upset people.
Very silly.
But peace to Raphie.
Hey.
Fight Doctor in the chat. Hey. It's been good. Take care.
Hey, that's the Leon figures. It was good of him to jump on. If he hadn't jumped on, the Fight Doctor hadn't jumped on, trust me, this show would probably last about 20 minutes because the Raphie's tired and I've got an early start in the morning. What's going on? Let me sit down and see what people are saying. Let's see what people are saying so I can respond. I'm not turning on Okolie. He's still one of my favorite guys, but it's distasteful. Yeah, it was distasteful. Silly statement, distasteful statement, ridiculous. Did he get column inches? Yeah. okolie, I think he was could have chose his words better. Don't make promises you can't keep. That's a good philosophy in life. Lisa Bell says, get damn likes up. As a matter of fact, let me give. Oh, I've already hit my like. I've done it on my end. Come on, shoplifters, hit the like button. Gonna be thirsty here. What else are people saying? All promoters of snake oil salesmen. Also, why target Hearn? There you go. Can't talk about slavery when you're gifted a Rolex. Yeah, give the Rolex back. Ben Shalom, well, he's new in the game, isn't he? We don't know enough about him, but in good time, he will show his true colors, of course. He'll do what he's got to do. You're getting millions or close to it. Listen, anybody can try and re-up and renegotiate, but, choose your words carefully. That's all I'm saying. Choose your words carefully. Buy 1 million down, get ripped off by 1,000. Yeah, I hear that. How's the knee? You know what? The knee, I've got, the doctor gave me a telephone number for some physios. But the knee problem got superseded. The knee problem got superseded by some kind of what do you call that thing? What do you call that when the energy goes? The energy flows away. Some kind of, what is it? I don't know what you call it. So I had some blood to, but my energy just dropped. My energy levels just dropped. And I mean dropped. So it was a hell of a game trying to get a doctor's appointment over here in the UK, the NHS. Hell of a game trying to get an appointment. And I knew it was a thing that I would have to navigate, and I knew it was a game that I'd have to figure out. So I played the game, tried to get a doctor's appointment for like 2 weeks. I was sending me to the emergency room. I went there a couple of times and left before I actually got seen. The last time I was waiting for 4 hours, and I thought, okay, I'm going to have to play this game for longer. Game for longer. You may not tug my sausage. Thank you very much, sir. I already have a designated sausage tugger, but thanks for the offer. And eventually I figured out the game. I figured out that if you go there, you can get an emergency appointment. And you can get seen that same day. If you go there at a certain time, you can get seen for an emergency appointment. You can get seen that same day. And when you get seen that same day, you can also then say to the doctor, well, I need this. I need you to make an appointment for me to see this specialist or that specialist. And then you can come back the next day for another emergency appointment, get seen, and you can say to the doctor, well, I need you to make an appointment for me to see this specialist or that specialist. So then you're on. Then you're on the roller coaster. Then you're in. They know that you know. They can see that you need help anyway. Long story short, no, it was before. This was like 3 weeks ago. So this was just the beginning of the heat wave. I have certain suspicions. Raphie knows a little bit about the medicals. Raphie knows about medicals. I have certain suspicions. I ain't gonna really say that right about now. What my suspicions are. I've got some suspicions. I got the blood test done last week. I'm going to see my doctor tomorrow, Thursday, about the findings of the blood test and the urinology, whatever you call it, urinalysis. So we're getting there, but it has been tough. Energy levels dropped like they dropped into a well. It was crazy. It has been crazy. But Raphie, is a researcher. I've been researching every day. I've got some ideas. I've got some clues. I've been very proactive on my end. So I'm ready for them. I got my notes. and I got my requests. I know who I need to see going forward. So, you know, Raphie's doing his due diligence. Hey, could be. Raphie's doing his due diligence on this side. It ain't over. They can't count out the Raphie yet. They can't count me out. Can't count me out. But hey, thanks to everybody with their well wishes. Yeah. But still feeling drowsy, still feeling under the weather. But I made some dietary changes and some other changes. Made some changes in my sleep pattern. I don't think I was getting enough sleep. So, hey, we're going to find out. We're going to find out real soon, like. And anyway, got to get out of here. So Raphael Dawkins, the Combat Radio. Thanks for all the kind words. It's Boxing Talk with Raphie. We are out. Blessed.